Hello everyone. Today we will be discussing an interesting topic in .NET C Sharp. It's about IEnumerable and its usage. You might have seen the usage of IEnumerable in many places in the code base where we might be passing, especially when we are dealing with collections, when we are creating a collection and populating it with some basic data types or some custom data types like string, integer, and some other class. And we might be passing that particular collection into some other API, and that API receives that collections as IEnumerable of some type, like IEnumerable of string or IEnumerable of integer. So why is it we need? Why is it we are using this IEnumerable instead of directly using that concrete collection type like list or array list like that? So we will be exploring that in today's video with the help of this blog. Therefore, the link to this blog, I will be posting it in the comment section. Maybe you can just go through this blog and try to explore. There are many other topics which are posted in this particular blog. Maybe you can go through that, and please do share your feedback in the comment section. And today, with this help of the blog, we'll be discussing about the usage of IEnumerable and why is it required in C Sharp. Therefore, IEnumerable basically is an interface which is actually provided by this C Sharp, and it has the capacity to iterate over the collection elements and try to provide you the individual collection elements. Therefore, why IEnumerable is used in our code base is basically there are three reasons for using IEnumerable in our code base. For it actually gives us a flexibility or gives us a way of iterating over the collection with the help of a for each loop. So if you want to use collection in a for each loop, that particular collection should implement IEnumerable. Then only it will allow you to iterate over the collection. So basically, for with to use that particular collection in a for each loop, we must ensure that that particular collection is implementing IEnumerable. That's the first use case. And the second thing of using this IEnumerable is it actually abstracts out the underlying data structure or container which holds the data. For IEnumerable provides gives you a unified interface for a client to access the elements in the container or data structure. So you don't need to know the client doesn't need to know the actual underlying memory allocation or memory organization of that particular container and how the elements are actually stored in the container. The client doesn't need to know. Therefore, the necessary abstraction is provided by this IEnumerable. That's what the second point talks about. And the third point is modification of the collection data is prevented when collection is exposed as IEnumerable. So when you expose IEnumerable, when you expose a container or collection as IEnumerable, the client cannot go ahead and modify the data in the collection. It has only the privilege to iterate over the collection and try to access the data. It doesn't have the privilege to modify or add or delete some data in the collection. So that's the basic of why we use IEnumerable in the C sharp code base. Now we have an example to prove the same, and we have a working code example. Let's try to use this code in the Visual Studio and try to see what output we get. And I switch to Visual Studio and try to copy paste the code which is in the blog. Yeah, therefore, yeah, in the code, what we have is a main function, and the main function defines two data structures or containers. One is of type list of string, and it actually stores the days. And next data structure is an array list of months, which stores the list of months, which stores the months essentially. And we have common static print API, which tries to print the uh, days or months, whichever thing is passed to it in the console with each item at a time. Therefore, it takes in the important thing to note here is it is taking in an IEnumerable of items. It doesn't take in an abstract type like list of string or array list into this thing. Therefore, the same print API can be used to print both days structure and month structure. So let's go into the definition of this IEnumerable. First, you can see IEnumerable. It has an API called getEnumerator. Therefore, I'm using Visual Studio 2022. Therefore, we are able to decompile the source code of IEnumerable. That's what we're able to see the interface definition. And it has an API exposed called getEnumerator, which will return essentially the enumerator to the collection. Therefore, it tells a summary as returns an enumerator that iterates through a collection and can be used to iterate through the collection. Therefore, that's the API which is exposed by IEnumerable. Let's go back to our code. And in this particular thing, we are using a for each loop and we are iterating using the items. Whatever IEnumerable is passed to it, we are using the for each loop on it. So this is only possible because this is of type IEnumerable. Therefore, that means that the list of string and array list do implement this IEnumerable and has an API implementation for get enumerator. Therefore, this for each loop will just iterate over the items and try to print with the console. Let's try to fire this thing up. Let's try to see what output we get. I guess we have to just do console key just to ensure that the output doesn't go away. Read key, yes. Let's try to fire this up once again. Yeah, now we get that output. We can see that all the two containers are successfully printed in the console with the same print static print API. For that's what is about this use of this IEnumerable. For it is actually encouraged to use IEnumerable, especially when we try to return a collection to a client which belongs to another module or a separate uh, uh, module which is requesting for a collection. When we try to give return back IEnumerable, that ensures that that particular collection is not modified and it has the client has only the privilege to iterate over the elements and access the elements one at a time. So that's what the use case of enumerable. Hope this is pretty much clear the usage and concept of enumerable, and do share your feedback in the comment section, and just if you like the video, do subscribe to this particular channel and do share it with your friends and colleagues if you find it interesting. Yeah, thank you and have a nice day.